I love CTA because it has you in it. And in fact, I don't mind the radio effect.
Okay. Nonini, let's take this story again.
Yeah. So tunaingia story ya copyright. Let me tell you where I got involved with this whole story of copyright. The other day nimona anaitwa nani Femi One. She wrote something on Instagram and she recorded a video and she's good. I feel the frustration that artists have. Femi One alikuwa anasema kama wewe ni msanii or you're a creative in this industry and you're trying to make it, funga virago, toka, enda, run. If you ever get an opportunity to go to another country, go, don't look back, because this country does not. Haiheshimu musicians, haiheshimu, which is true. Very true. But now where I come in is, Juliani, kutabadilishwa na nani kama sisi? Man, tumekuwa tukifight kitu for the longest. Where I got involved with this thing is Poxy Pressure, Marehemu Poxy Pressure ndo alifanya nikakuwa interested na mambo ya copyright. Alikuwa kana ngoma ilikuwa inaitwa Dako Kelo Witch Quote. Bibi ameleta kichwa ngumu. Total bala. Ule ni noma, ule ni legend. Man, yeye ndo alianza kufanya watu kama sisi nianze kunotice. Mziki ikichezwa kwa radio, you're supposed to be paid. Poxy used to make that noise. Always, every time I meet him, anaambia Nonini, ngoma zako zinachezwa, nini, kuna mtu analipwa. Me, I'm like, I don't know. So nikaanza kuinvestigate. Then all of a sudden tunasikia Poxy amededi, sijui alikuwa amefungwa Malindi, sijui mambo za copyrights, alishikwa akafungwa, then akadedi akiwa ndani because he got us a disease. Sijui alishikwa na nini, So that's what happened.
So we literally lost him to him fighting for copyright because he was arrested because of the fight.
Alikuwa na TB, right? Yeah, but alifungwa, si ndio? Alifungwa Malindi or something. So because he had a complication, that's how he passed away, you get. And that time MCSK was being run. Mimi nilikuja ku understand MCSK na raniwa by somebody called Shamala. I didn't know who that is. Mimi hata sijui MCSK ni nini. So nikaanza ku investigate. What's this? Nikaanza kujua, so music has rights. See, like right now, I talk to many artists, even the new artists who come in. Most of them don't know a musical work has different rights.
Yes.
They don't know. Nobody taught us that. Mi libidi niingie, niichambue, nipige. And then akukwa na internet. Yeah. Right now it's easy. You can ingia Google musical rights. It will tell you, like, the internet is there. It's a resource. Use it. Those days we didn't have it. So ilikuwa hearsay. Poxy anasema nini? Kuna nini? Hizo offices ziko wapi? Money was being collected for the longest. Artists never knew. That money was being collected. It was not being distributed. So this is what happens. These things are called CMOs, Collecting Management Organizations. When they're formed, they're given a leeway by government. You can form a new CMO today, and because you're setting up the structures, the office, the employees, the government or the constitution can give you 4 years to set up. So you can collect money and use that money to set up.
What?
It's allowed. Yes, it's allowed by law. Because when you collect, you need to andika employees to go on the ground to collect money. Then you need staff in the office to do accounting. You can't just come and do it. So you're given a leeway. But sometimes I feel that leeway is too stretched. But you're given a leeway, you can collect, set up yourself. So I think that was happening with MCSK. But MCSK was set up a long time ago. Mabuda zetu, member number 1 wa MCSK, ni nani member number 1 of MCSK? Is it Daudi Kabaka? Yes, Daudi Kabaka, I think, is member number 1 of MCSK. Abel Kifoto. Those are member, au mabuda yani wa zamani. So that's where MCSK started. So we never knew there's money that is being collected from radio stations. So once I found out, nikaanza kurealize, okay, so yes, there's a society. So how do you get your music there? Fast forward, nikapata jamaa anaitwa Morris Okoth. He's a lawyer now. Morris now was the CEO. Sasa Morris ndo alituchanua kaanza kutuambia, now kuna society, you need to get your music registered with us, you need to register as a member, because by law we are mandated to collect royalties for you by law.
So it's so funny. So even before Morris hii kitu ilikuwa imeanza.
Of course. Ilikuwa sinakwambia kulikuwa na Shamala.
Nimekumbuka.
So Morris alipigana akaingia. Sijui hata Morris aliingiaje MCSK. But once Morris came, because Morris was young.
Me I signed up under Morris. Nilisign up hiyo time under Morris.
Sasa hiyo ndo time pia mimi nilisign up. Mimi nilisign up I think 2007. That's when I actually signed up for MCSK. And I think I'm member number 84 something. I can't remember. Norma. So Morris taught us, like, you have to be a member. It's a society. for you to change how it operates, you have to be a member under it. It has a governing constitution. This constitution determines how you're going to put leaders there. Morris is a CEO. He got employed by the society. But the society is run by a board of directors, governing board. Governing board is
voted in.
Yes, is voted in by musicians. So unapata wale musicians walikuwa kwa MCSK, si hatujui ni nani, ni watu wa zamani, si hatumezei, we might even not know them. They were voting people to be on the board. And then these people on the board, wanaandika employees, wanaandika kina Morris. Morris was the young guy aliandikwa. So Morris alituchanua of how things go.
Wow.
So to realize, man, kuchange kitu, we have to be inside.
And then you have to vote.
And then we have to practice the voting. Because now you can't change directors without voting. But once we got inside there, my goodness, bro. So me, I got into MCSK. People always think I was a director. I wasn't. I got into MCSK as a member. After nichanuliwe, na hiyo curiosity yangu from Kinapoxi, nilijoin as a member. So now I can fight. Now I can understand what's going on in here. Then ona kuna elections nini. After that, sasa nikaanza kuelewa rights. Now, a song has different rights. Has an arranger, has a composer, has a publisher, has an executive producer, has a performer. And all these rights belong in different societies that have been given the mandate by the government.
Different CMOs.
Yes, they're called CMOs. And then the regulator is called Kenya Copyright Board. So Kenya Copyright Board appoints Music Copyright Society of Kenya, Performance Rights Society of Kenya, and Kenya Association of Music Producers.
And Kenya, what do you say called again?
CAMP.
Kenya Copyright Board. Yes. Kenya Copyright Board is a government.
It's a government arm, yeah. It's the copyright board, like all corporate music, publishing, yama books, all copyright. It's under there. It's a parastatal. Yeah. So I think it's a parastatal. I'm not sure. Yeah. So that's how I got involved. And once now I started knowing, tukaanza kurealize to change this thing, you have to now rally people. Rally sisi wasanii wa kizazi kipya tuingie, because now wale wasanii tuliwapata pale, wale wasanii wa kitambo, wale wasanii wazee ni wengi. So tukiingia voting, you can never defeat them, and that's you change the board by voting. You can never. So tuko pale, tuko ma-artist 10 wa kizazi kipya.
Wow.
All the cool artists who are number 1 in nini don't feel like joining. Hizo vita za MCSK, no, we're making too much money performing. But the money is there. Your money is being collected. It's being eaten. So then tukakuja kurealize baadaye now, later fast forward, I decided MCSK ni noma. MCSK has a lot of... Currently, MCSK has 20,000 members. So those 20,000 members who are AGM...
Sema vile tulijimobilize kwanza.
No, si ndaenda hapo. Yes. MCSK has 20,000 members currently. Back then it was around 10,000 members. So mkienda kuvote, mko ma-artist 50. And then hao jamaa mnaenda kuvote again, sama ma-artist wengine wanaita mayoyo. Because you're the new guys, you're the urban musicians. So wanaita nyinyi mayoyo. Hao ni wale ma-artist wa River Road, ma-artist wa Montago, wanaita nyinyi mayoyo. You know? So these societies have been controlled like that for the longest. So there's a day tukamwacha tuchange kitu. Mimi, Frasha, Mongolo, Lady B, Dij, tumeingia mbaya sana. Tumepiga ma meeting. Tunasema, you know what guys, we have to change these things. We have to work with the people from River Road, because also them are being frustrated. The people they voted in, money is not getting to them. Money sasa is being distributed, but is being distributed something called general distribution.
Yes.
So they are collecting
that's
money.
That's 2,000 Bob that you would get.
So you see the 2,000 you get right now, we're even lucky to get that 2,000. Schools are Poxy, we were getting none.
Exactly.
Zero. Sasa hata usai watu wakizusha 2,500, that's okay. It's an improvement, but it may take long. But tulikuwa tumetoka kwa era where we're getting none. Okay? So we came in, tuka kuchange by day, mtakuwa mna distributido. Na insa kuidistribute ni noma. These guys collect money, they distribute generally to everyone. A society that has 10,000 people. PRISK, when I joined, had about 3,000 people. CAMP, I don't know about how many. Currently, those societies combined have 20,000 people. So if they collect 30 million or 40 or even 100 million, distribute that equally to everyone, kila mtu anapata 4Gs.
But then, not everybody anafanya hiyo kazi ya 4Gs.
Hapo sasa ndio kuna noma. Hapo sasa ndio kuna noma. Si kila mtu anaimba 4Gs, si kila mtu anachezwa kwa radio, si kila mtu yuko na popular songs, si kila mtu yuko na catalog, ile catalog tunaongea juu yake, you get. So si tulijimobilize, tukasema acha tuchange kitu. Mongolo nini. So me I wanted one day to kusimama kwa director wa MCSK. Tukaona manze tukifanya hivyo itabidi ka politics. Mongolo alikuwa kajama ka politics, ametoka ODM, ana understand venye anaweza enda kuongelesha watu wa River Road, you know. He understands that. So tukasema acha tu support Mongolo. and we step back because tukiamua mimi nisimame Mongolo asimame, our votes will be split and then those guys are voting as a block, they watatushinda. So Mongolo alienda kaongelesha because also them they're tired of this road,
they're not getting anything.
Yes, tumejaribu kuchenjio kitu my friend. Mongolo aliingia, yes,
so akakuwa nani?
Akakuwa director wa MCSK. Lakini sasa uko director huko, but you see now to make a board decision, directors vote.
Yeah.
So you only have one. Yes, uko na vote yako moja, it does not count. These other ones will vote whatever they want to vote and you're nothing. Because that's how it happens. When you're on a board, you have to vote on decisions.
Exactly.
And when ukishindwa umeshindwa. So you can't change anything unless change nyima director wote muingie huko. And this is
but you are at least able to understand who are the wrong guys up there, because you have somebody inside. It's a step.
Yes. And me later after kina Mongolo aliingia MCSK, pia mi nikapiga mahustle zangu nini PRISK had a leaner membership criteria na kwa kidogo watu 3,000.
And then
performance right Society of Kenya. So tukarali pia politics kina Mongolo akanisaidia nini and I was voted in as a director for PRISK. Now once I was there, because PRISK was working with MCSK and camp, I started to understand now the dynamics. Kuingia PRISK, it's a whole different ball game. Now those guys who work under MCSK, because it's been there for a minute, PRISK started, MCSK has been there for more than I think 20 years. PRISK came like 10 years later after MCSK and camp. So these guys called MCSK feel they're the bigger brother. We cannot work with any other society. Ni newbies. Ni mumeingia saizi. The regulator has said you three guys have to work together so that you reduce the costs for musicians. Because if PRISK sets up an office, has an admin, has a CEO, has everybody, it's money from the musicians being spent. Camp is doing the same. MCSK is doing the same.
Money is supposed to be given to the musician is being spent on logistics
and administration. And ideally, if you guys operate under one body, you can have one CEO, one admin, and money can, cost-wise, itakuja chini, more money will go to the artists. Where? Norma, hizo society tatu hazijawai work together for the longest. They started working together 2 years ago. Because MCSK feels now the directors are there, they're feeling cinema newbie, atuwezi nyinyi watoto wadogo. Ni kama mono ameingia form 4, umeingia ukapata ma form 4 formers. Alafu unataka kuambia mnataka kwa meza moja. Wacha ujinga, kwanza bwendo nilete uji. Hizo tunataka ulete uji pale.
And let me ask this, in terms of collecting, does every CMO have their own collection agency?
Oh yeah. Every CMO has its own office, regional and peer based in the country, based in the urban city, and their office they have a CEO, and then they have people who are called wanaitwa nini, agents. Agents out there who collect. Now this is where the problem lies. Sasa simona cost wise, it's expensive for the artists. Now the agents wanaandikwa job, kuna mtu anaandikwa Kisumu nini. When we got in, that was a manual system. It's a book that is being printed and sent out to different agents across the country. So guess what? Agent anaenda kuliza kabla hata MPESA ilikuja juzi. Sasa ikakuwa tukaanza kurealize watu wanaiba, tuweke MPESA and bank account. Before that it was cash. So this guy will go and reprint his own book. So ile book mlimpatia 1,000 licenses, na yake ingine 1,000. So ile yenyu yuko nayo, mkikuja naambia za collect kitu, the guy has been licensing huko vitu na anaweka kwa mfuko. So agents walikuwa na manga. Tukakuja kurealize agents hawamangi kivyao. Agents waliandikwa na nani? Directors. As the way the society is, directors don't earn any money. Directors earn allowances. So allowances they earn with per the meetings they set. So some societies were so rogue, they're setting over 50 meetings in a month. Ma meetings kibao, you get, so that they get paid. But some wakaanza kurealize by the ma allowances haziwezi. So some directors wako na ma agents. So agents wakicheza hivyo wanacheza na ma director. Hizi vitu zote yani it's normal. You get. But once we got there, money started being distributed. Tukaanza kusema tunataka hiyo general distribution kwanza ikuwe very low. Second, tunataka scientific distribution. Tunataka radio station zikuwe zinatoa the logs. Tunajua who got played. That gets fought every other time. Till today. If we tell those societies, we tell Kekobo, today tunataka radio stations zikuwe zinatoa logs. DJs, when DJs play with Serato has a playlist.
Exactly.
Let us logs. So that we know who gets paid, who gets played, to who gets paid. Kuna watu 20,000, my friend, wanangoja kakiru. So niambie. So the only way we win this fight is for Kekobo, See voting of directors, nataka uni understand. Ideally, we're supposed to vote in the directors wale wana understand na wanaweza. But your fight haiwezi. Because the societies have a lot of people who will vote whoever they want to vote in, and you guys will never win. Kekobo, now the regulator and the government has to step in and help us. And Uhuru has done that currently.
But didn't they disband? Like when was it?
Mpake. Yes.
So Mpake was a new CMO trying to get into the game.
Now when we started complaining and everything, there was a society, there was a CMO that was formed called Mpake. Mpake was formed by Kina Rafton, Kina Take, Bernard Kioko, BK, Ata, Ben Gedai, Mike Strano, they formed. You see, let me tell you, one thing people never understood. All these years we never knew about CMOs. Every year, Kekobo used to call out for licenses. Like if you're a CMO and you know you have a license, they gazette. It's a government body, so they'll gazette.
Of course.
So ukifeel unataka ku-apply as a CMO, apply. This used to happen, but we never used to know. Tulikuja kwanza kujua juzi. Sawa? So once we started knowing juzi tukiona hizi manoma za MCSK, tukasema okay, if we can't change MCSK from directors, so we just get a CMO to apply. All the wrongs MCSK has been doing, walifurahia. They're not doing audited accounts. Every year they have to do audited accounts. You're not giving audited accounts. When you're giving those audited accounts, numbers don't make sense. So there's 1 year, I think it was 3 years ago, Kekobo announced licenses are open for application. Mpake applied. MCSK had not met the conditions that were given by Kenya Copyright Board.
Exactly.
License iliende kapatiwa Mpake.
Okay, endelea. This story.
So one day, hii story inaweza like Bernard akupigia story and you talk to these directors. Mimi naongea tu juu kwa juu.
No, ni sawa, at least in the beginning, unatupatia kileman so that we are able to have an understanding.
So one day, Kekobo took the license away from MCSK and he gave it to a society called Mpake. And when they gave it to Mpake, I was serving as a director under PRISK. And one of the mandate that Kekobo said is we have to work together. Unaona hiyo mambo ya big brother? Sijui big brother, sijui nyinyi mmeingia. Work together. Mi naserve kwa hiyo board, naserve na Nameless, naserve na SK Blue. So we are young guys. So we understand that hizi vitu tunataka vitu ziwork.
Yeah.
Camp has still the other directors. Do you know? Me, that's the reason I resigned. I resigned from PRISK because now we became the MCSK. Because now you understand, in a board that I'm serving, and at some point I was the chairman, I'm the only one who has a vote. So people are voting against me when I say something. So Kekobo imeuliza to work pamoja. Kuna watu wanasema au Mpake akitaka kuwork na sisi, the two CMOs, watupatie goodwill. Watupatie goodwill. Kwani nyinyi mtakuja tu aje tu hivi a new guy. Give us goodwill. Goodwill? Mimi naleta noma. Tunataka hii pesa yote ni ya wasanii. Ikuwe ni Mpake, ikuwe ni PRISK, ikuwe ni Camp. All the money goes out to wasanii. Who cares about what board you're under? Who cares about who's new, who's not? My friend, tulipigana kwa board a whole year kabla to implement what Kekobo wanted. Kekobo hiyo ati tu work pamoja, collections, vita. Because mnapiga meeting, mnaandika minutes. Unaona hizi stories zinaenda hapo, unasikia minutes za gava zimeandikwa zimechangiwa. Unapata minutes zimechangiwa, unapata what you resolved as a board, people are going against it the next meeting. And the regulator himself, who's supposed to govern and look out for us and protect the directors and everybody, is not doing anything. So at that point, mimi nikasema by the vita haiwezi. Kama regulator haiwezi protect what's happening in the CMOs.
Exactly.
What am I doing in here? It's the constant cycle.
Now you're not even, and you're not even talking about MCSK drama.
Sasa hapa tuko sisi watu watatu sasa. Because we are being mandated by the regulator to work together. Basa kuna noma. People don't want to work together because of vested interests, right? And then bado hapo tuna realize by the mnalipa watu pesa mingi. CEO is earn 700,000. CEO ana 700,000 plus packages and benefits. Na msanii ana 2,000. Z. That's not going to be a popular opinion when you say that. Hizo ndio manoma tuko tunaleta. Tunasema till today, people who earn in these CMOs are employees, those agents, and some of them are linked up to the directors. Hao ndio wana earn each other. So it's been a long struggle, and we are still struggling. Uzuri, right now I'm a chairman for Creative Society of Kenya. Creative Society of Kenya is a creative umbrella body that represents the creative sectors, including music. Now with that, we can take anybody to task in the creative sector. Kama kuna shida pande ya film, wakuja tuambie. Tunajua venye ta lobby gava. Kama kuna shida pande ya music, wakama watuambie, tunajua vile ta lobby gava. And President Uhuru has done a good thing, because alienda Kekobo akasema, Kenya Copyright Board, I need you guys to solve these problems. So currently Kenya Copyright Board has launched a system. It's called the National Registry. Even right now, Wali launched last week, artists need to register their works. Like hata mimi nimeregister fresh, unaingiza works zako kwa National Registry. They're trying to do a cleanup to find out all these members who are in MCSK and PRISK ghost members. They're trying to clean up, ndio tujue who's who. So guys are signing up afresh. So the Gava is trying to solve this mess. I hope they do. It's a mess. The music industry has money. When Morris was the CEO of MCSK, he had a potential of collecting up to 1 billion per year. I think he reached, Morris alifika 700 meter.
Nakumbuka,
And that day, if you got 700 meter, is the day watu waliletea noma, because mi nilipo royalties 1 million. But people are forgetting, after me, kuna mtu ali earn 900,000, kuna mtu ali earn 800,000, kuna mtu ali earn 700,000, but because mi ndo nilikuwa topa na 1 million, watu sema Nonini anajua na, and because my music was played across all stations. So yeah, and it was distributed via scientific distribution. So they looked at the logs na venye mziki zimechezwa. Alafu funny enough, kuna ngoma yangu ilichezwa kwa vernacular station so many times, and that's what got me there, and that's what we want right now, so that we can be able to do scientific distribution. Kina Kali saizi wanafaa kuwa na anbaya sana, kina Sauti Sol wanafaa, as long as your music is hot right now, you should be like the top earners. And Morris was trying to do that, but the forces that be don't want that.
So they kicked him out, or his term ended.
Hey, my friend, Morris term ended. Morris alitolewa hapo na ufala gani, aliekelewa sijui corruption, sijui alifanya nini. Morris had to clear himself from court. Morris was going to jail. He had to clear his name. Aliekelewa manoma zingine azijuani, but he did clear himself. And that's why Morris akaosha mikono. It's
Okay,
so Gava tunataka Gava ingilie.
So without Gava, are you saying we're hopeless?
Ni noma, bila Gava kuchange kitu itakuwa bala. Ni system ime exist na ni system inajua ni nani wanaifanya. It's hard. Government has to ingia once and for all and says, wait, this is what we're going to do. So we are hoping with this new registry, it's going to be, because now the registry will...
Okay, to register, what do people need to do? Is it an online registry?
Yeah, it's on Kekobo, kenyacopyrightboard.co.ke. You'll find the national registry there. It's a link. It's a whole different website. You register your works there. Now we are hoping that the monies that the CMOs collect will be channeled there. Kekobo says watakuwa naangalia venye jamaa wana distribute. But one thing that has never been corrected till today, MCSK collected money in 2017. Right? From 2016 collected money. In 2017 they lost their license where Mpake came in. 2018, 2019. Nobody ever, even Kekobo, asked them for the monies they collected in 2016 and 2017. They collected money. And when they lost the license, they still continued collecting money. Kichwa ngumu.
Yes, I could.
While Mpake was collecting.
And the Gava said,
and they never distributed money. We always want them to be held at task, because that was musicians' money that was collected. At some point also things were the cars, nini ziliuzwa. You know, we want the people who are there at that time to say where that money is. And they've been told countless times to bring their audited accounts. An audit has never been done. Artists always demand for audit. Tumesema pia wanaitwa PRC wafanye audit. Audit haijaifanyika. Kekobo si ikasa yote naambia Kekobo, we need an audit done on MCSK, we need an audit done on PRISK, we need an audit done on CAMP. Nothing has ever been done till today. Tunaomba raisi, tunataka hizi audit zifanyike, so that we know where that money got lost. And after we know that, moving forward, there's no money that's going to be lost. Then the industry can improve.
Okay, let me ask a question. Me, I'm a girl of CTA, call to action.
Yes.
What would you like the artist to do? First things first, I can even say it for you. Register your works.
Register your work.
What else can
Number
they do?
One, join an association. Join an association, because government talks to bodies. Government does not talk to Nonini. Government talks to Nonini and our body. So there are associations for different musicians. Hata ukienda regional areas, ukienda Central, Nyanza, Nairobi, kuna associations. Nairobi, there's Nairobi Musicians Associations. The chairman of that association is Bonai of P-Unit. And your chairman. Na kuna mob, you can create even your own association, but just create a legal entity. Then after that legal entity, join our umbrella body, which is the Creative Society of Kenya. Once you join this body together, we can be able to lobby the government together. You understand? But over and above that, all artists need to be involved. Number one, if you're a new artist, you can never complain about MCSK camp and PRISK if you're not a member. If you're not a member, you have no voice.
Bila kuvote. Nyamaza.
Mi sijai join hizo ma copyright manze au kulagado ya watu. Piga kelele huko nje. Hakuna kitu unaweza fanya. You are not a member. They only represent people who are members. The only one that doesn't represent people who are members is PRISK. PRISK also collects for non-members. But I think that law also was changed. For you to have a voice, you have to join. You have to register your works. Kama works zako haziko hapo, unapigia nani kelele? Because they are the bodies that are mandated by the government. Join the societies. Know how to do split sheets with your producer, composer, author. Kabla ukiingia studio kisha record ngoma, andika split sheet. Hii mambo kuna maartist wajui split sheet.
But don't worry, nitafanya infaka. I agree with you. I'll do a course on all of this.
Yes. Lazima. This whole copyright thing is a whole topic that we need to sit. It's a whole CTA season by itself.
But what I like is you have painted the bigger picture. So sahi ka ujasikia kitu chochote, at least go and register your works.
Kwanza.
At least kwanza hapo ndio
noma ikuje.
At least we can say umefanya kitu for you to begin working in the process.
Yes.
Okay, Nonini, yani tumebonga tena mpaka kafyu ingine imekam back imedai sahi. If my sound is not too good, don't worry, ni na record na phone. But for me, I think a parting shot is necessary from you. Tafadhali tupatie ka parting shot, then I'll close.
Man, parting shot, what can I say? And one, thank you for this platform, CTA. It's very important. One platform I did like this one was 17 years back. It was called Hip Hop Colony. Na uli watch na mimi jana. And some clips we've used here, flashbacks are from Hip Hop Colony. And that's when documentation of the music industry started. What you're doing currently is dope.
But let's first give props to that guy, Michael.
Yes, Mike Wanguhu. Mike Noma sana. Mike flew from the US to do that documentary. And till today it's gold. What you're doing as well is gold, Sabu. This will go down into history. Tunakuwa wazee, you know. And what I've realized when you're doing these documentaries, a lot of people have passed on along the way. Maartist wengi sana, you know. So rest in peace yani kina Isa, rest in peace kina Wikimosh, rest in peace kina Poxy Pressure, rest in peace Lady S, rest in peace Jiwiji wa Mashifta, you know. Maartist ni wengi sana yani wamededi in this journey. And some will never see the fruits of what we're trying to fight for or where the industry is going to be. So this is important. Secondly, this is also mentorship. What I always told people is, people are asking me, how come I haven't sung with Gengeton and all these kids who are coming up and all this? We never had mentors as musicians. As Khalif tukikama up, tulijifunza wenyewe. But we know artists who are there. And we used to listen to other music. So we learned from Kina Jay-Z, we learned from Kina Hardstone, we learned from how did these guys use it. And then we made our own way, our own path. If there's nobody who's going to sit down with you and talk to you, you have to create your own path. But how do you do that? When you watch things like this CTA, ukiangalia Nameless akiongea hapo, ni buda anajua Kenya anafanya. Msikize, Jua Kali, ukiona nani whoever, Kambua, anyone. These guys have passed through some things in this industry that are priceless. They did that so that you can fly. They walked so that you can fly. Listen to them. Whatever you can get. Kama unataka kuget kitu Nonini anaongea, just get that, run with it. This is the mentorship that they can't get. Hakuna siku mtu anaweza pata Nonini, tukae chini, nimpige story yote. Sina your time.
Una your time.
The fact that nimekana CTA, priceless. Use it. The next CTA ukifanya, nataka kuona another Nonini here. Akisema, we, manze nilisikia ile interview ya Nameless kwa CTA. It sparked something in me. Nilisikia ile interview ya Kambua, ile interview ya nani, it sparked something in me. That should be the next CTA in years to come. Ime document industry. Let's continue to Zidi.
For me, yani, lazima nimalize first and foremost by thanking you kwa sababu with the journey you've done. I started this by thanking you, and I want to end it by thanking you for the journey that you've done. Bless. To the audience member who is hearing me, CTA, your call to action ni humse amebonga vitu mob, go buy his music, go listen to his music.
Support.
Yani si kusupport kwa sababu struggling artist nini. No, support because the music is good.
Ruthless.
Support because the music is good, so that Nonini can continue doing all of this.
Yes.
His platforms in terms of the foundations and all the other stuff that he's doing. Support that thing. Again, I'm saying there's nobody who has too little to give. 1 shilling utahitaji.
Kitu yote. manze, a
You get what I
dollars, anything, tuma.
Exactly.
Iko top. Iko
So
top.
in fact, for you, I'm not even asking. That's my biggest thing. But yani ni big up. Thank you so much for openly sharing and pouring it out.
Yes.
To share. Adios.